Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Tuesday Night Bully Talk. We've got some special guests tonight that I'm really excited to have on, one of which has been with us before, but just like we always do, we'd like to give you guys the opportunity one by one to introduce yourselves and tell us like your kennel name, any business name that you have, and then what got you into your breed that you're into now that you're campaigning. So I don't know who wants to go first.
Heather said not me. Well, my name is Cristina. I've been in the bully community for almost 20 years, around 18 years now. Breeding for maybe 16 years. Did bully for a long time. And the last 7 years, I've been breeding Frenchies. I do this as a hobby. I don't profit out of it. I don't make a lot of money. I spend a lot of money. And I go to a lot of shows. I'm an addict. My name is Cristina.
Hello,
Hello, Cristina. Welcome to the group.
Look at us enablers in this group. Oh my God. Bunch of enablers.
Yeah, just buy one more. Just get one more.
The first one's free.
Right, exactly.
Right?
Get them on the comeback. All right, you're next. Let's go.
All right. My name is Heather MacPherson, and I'm with the French Bulldog Foundation of America. It's a new nonprofit that started. We were at the Nationals. You might have seen our booth there. That was kind of when we started. And it's a 501c3. We're doing this, not for profit. And much like my kennel is Crowd Pleazer Frenchies, and that is also not for profit. Not on purpose. But like Cristina, one was intentional. I've been doing the Frenchies since about 2016, 2017. And I had horses and a horse background doing like 3-day eventing and what's it called, endurance riding and conformation. And then I've had dogs my whole life and labs and border collies, border collies, dingoes, Labradors, you name it, so pugs, boxer. When we had an English bulldog named Hank the Remote Slayer, and he made it to be 11, actually. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it is.
And so now it's the Frenchies. I mean, they're like crack. So, like Cristina, I am a Frenchie addict.
Hello, Heather.
Welcome to the group.
Oh my gosh.
Don't ask me how many.
That may come up later.
How many? I'm going to go ahead and say it now. How many? Let's go ahead and break the size.
Too many. I think we have 6 that are full-time in the house, and like one is a heart dog. He'll be with me forever. I posted a video last night for the foundation, and it's a very sad song about when you have to say goodbye to your old friend. And I was up until like 5 a.m. doing this, so I was really tired. I fell asleep through this whole thing, and I wake up and Cristina got 4 missed calls to me. She's like, wake up, you're doing it live. And I'm like, I've been calling all night. And everybody's like, is Benny alive? Did something happen to Benny? I'm like, no, I just wrote this song for my friend. Everything's fine.
Everyone's thinking the worst. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's good friends, though.
When your
that's good
friend
friends
is
that
writing
can...
a song about a dog that died, and she has a dog that is really, really old, and then she don't answer the phone. And it's like, are you okay?
What were you to think?
Talk to me.
Post a sad song and then doesn't answer the phone for like 12 hours. Yeah.
And then spend all day answering people. No, we're fine. It's fine. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, so I'm really, really excited to have you guys on. Well, so Cristina has actually been on the show before, and we had a lot of fun getting to know her a little bit better. We've known each other for years. She's one of my favorite human beings. So
same.
Knowing that you guys know each other, that just makes my heart melt a little bit, because you guys, you guys both do some really, really serious work trying to, really push this, health movement with OFA and clinics and things like that. I mean, that's two powerful women just, trying to make things easier and better and more accessible. So, Heather,
Accessible, which is important.
very important. And the neat thing is, and Heather, I was talking to you about this earlier.
Yeah.
While you guys right now, like your main focus right now is Frenchies because they're addictive. They are. The issues that sometimes they're a little bit more, predisposed to have are also similar to, issues that come up in the bully community. And the genetics. And so it's one of those things where we have so much in common, and so many of the things that you guys are doing movement wise can also be beneficial for the bully community to get on board.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yes.
Equal
I
opportunity.
mean, they are bulldogs.
We all come.
If
We share the same gene pool.
Exactly. We share the same gene pool
Just the
because of the
cousins.
bulldog.
Yep.
The bulldog, the Frenchies, the bullies. We got spine problems. We got breathing problems. We got heart problems. We got hip problems. So if we can try to help each other out to know how to breed for better dogs and have the tools and use the tools to make better decisions, because the problem is we don't know what we're breeding because we are not aware.
Right.
Your dog has really bad hip dysplasia. Your dog really have a lot of heart issues, and it's lack of knowledge and not being accessible, because most of these testings are done by the AKC people at their shows.
Right.
It's accessible to them, but we're not welcome there.
Right.
Flash mobs.
You come in with a bully and everybody's gonna be like,
What's this?
why are we here? So for us to be able to bring the clinics, Heather, bring the foundation, bringing the clinics to the shows, give us everybody an open opportunity to start testing our dogs. So there is no more excuses of why are we still in the same place when we can move forward with the breed to a better dogs. You don't have to breed back to terrier dogs. You just have to know to breed to healthier dogs, so your next generation, it'll get better and better and better. Well, that's the goal.
Oh, right. It should be. I mean, the end goal of any breeder should be to produce the breed standard, but healthy, right?
And it's possible. It's possible because I get so happy when I see somebody that posted their, OFAs on their bullies with good hips. And I say, there is some out there. You gotta start testing.
There are.
Actually, Jessica Jenkins just did a pen hip on her bully and came out with OFA good. Or well, no, it's not ours. Well, it is OFA, but it's pen hip. But it was a really low score, which would be equivalent of good hips. And she just did that.
I think because of things like y'all are doing,
Mike, we can't hear you, man.
Oh,
I can hear him.
I can hear him.
I can hear him.
Yeah.
I can.
Oh, Bruce, you're broken.
Well, because of the things y'all are doing and not only bringing awareness, but bringing that stuff to make it available at shows and things like that.
I can't hear him.
It's one of the pieces that kind of raise the community's awareness. It's a big deal, and it's making it available, readily available like that, I think is very important.
And affordable.
Frenchie community. Yeah, and the Frenchie community and I'd say has been ahead of the bully community when it comes to whether it be genetic testing or OFA or pin hip or anything like that. I think I think Frenchies, y'all get into the genetics as you need to a little more than some other breeds. And so it's just like Merle breeders, right? Merle breeders have had to really dive into that because there's lines that they have to be more careful of. And so much like the Frenchies, they're the first parts of the bulldog community to kind of bring those things in. And so they're a little more advanced now at this point. So I have seen a rise even in the American bully community on these things in recent years, whether it be Embark or UC Davis or different things. And that's a great thing. And I think OFA's a very important piece of that.
Oh, for sure. So now you mentioned a foundation. Tell me about this foundation. So what is the foundation? How did it get started? Like what all is this foundation involved in?
Okay, so we're all about the dogs and no politics. So I'm not a registry. We're not trying to replace the parent club. We are focused on advocacy and health and education and breeder tools and connecting people together. And we do pretty much, I started blogging about health when I just got tired of repeating myself on the phone all the time. And so I started creating blogs and then posting them, and then they kind of took off. And, you know, when I started doing this I started the health testing with OFA around 2018, 19. There was only like a handful of breeders in the Frenchie community that did it. And they were gatekeeping hard. Like when I came on the scene, I didn't know that excellent hips were a big deal. I thought, oh, everybody does that, you know, woo. And then when I'd post him, in the groups, and I was a nobody, and
I can't hear anything.
They the community kind of got quiet. It was like crickets chirping, you know. Yeah. And I thought, oh, is something wrong with this dog? And what I found is they were all sharing him privately, but you know, he ruffled a lot of feathers because he kind of showed that you can do this and it is possible. And then when we started getting his offspring tested and they were having OFA goods and really nice results, it was like, oh, here's your proof of concept. By the way, you can do this. So what my whole idea was, instead of gatekeeping the dog's genes, I wanted to inspire others to, you know, hey, this is what I did. This is how you can do it. Yes, it does cost money, but when you're selling these dogs, and in 2020, you know, they were selling these dogs for $10,000 right off of the C-section table. You know, it was terrible. And I'm like, if you can't afford to do a $150 slide for an X-ray, like, why are you doing this? You know, so it's always been about, like, it should be about the dogs and making them better and helping others help themselves too. And it should be about inclusivity. And so, like with the parent club, if you don't follow their breed standard to the T, which they put an extreme emphasis, you would think it'd be on health, but it's not. It's actually about color, and don't be the wrong color. But 99% of the breed, the number one most registered breed for 4 years in a row now, and we're talking like 101,000 dogs registered per year. They're not recognized, and their owners are not recognized by the parent club. They will not interact with them. In fact, they'll terrorize them, in my opinion. I've been on the receiving end a few times. But, you know, so 99% of the breed is rogue. What do you do with that? You know, at least with the ABKC, you've got a big community like yourselves. You've been around for a lot of years. There's mentorship. There's places for you to go. In this podcast, for example, right? But 99% of the Frenchie community is just doing it all on social media. And, you know, that gets wild. That's like the Wild West right there, you know. And so we wanted to try and rein it in and bring people a place where they could be, as long as you can register your French Bulldog with the AKC or with the UK or Canada. I don't care. Canada. Miss Canada. As long as they can be registered and you do your health testing, we will issue what we call Legacy of Health Awards. And so those are based on a platform very similar to what FBDCA does with their, I think they call it Ambassador of Health program. And then also what they do in the Kennel Club. And they have tiers from like platinum and gold, silver, bronze, you know, all the way down. Yeah. So we do something similar where if your dog has verifiable health results, and I'll even accept a preliminary. Okay. And the reason I do that is because a lot of people, at least in the Frenchie world, they'll stop with the preliminaries at 1 year or so, especially with females, because they come into heat right about the time when they should be turning 2, and maybe they're being bred. You know, right. So they don't get that finalized test, and it'll never show in the OFA database. You can't see it. So what do? Yeah. You have to keep on showing your certifications to everybody. It's really wild. Versus, like, if you can see behind me,
I saw the banner.
These things are very visible, and so when we issue them to dogs, and I don't care if you're a preservationist breeder and you belong to FBDCA, or if I think you have a great dog with verifiable health results, I'll issue one of these. It makes them really bad. They don't like it. I don't care. 'Cause it's about the dogs. You know?
What all is included in that? Like when you say that, what are all you referring to?
Okay, so if you do the RFG BOAs, which is the respiratory function grading, it's kind of new, and that's what we've been bringing to the health clinics. So when you see me at a dog show and I'm running for 3 minutes, which I don't like to do on purpose unless there's a bear behind me, when you see us all running around with a vet tech, that's what we're doing at the show. It's a test to assess the breathing, and it's non-invasive. Takes 3 minutes to do the test, and then they evaluate the breathing before they exercise, and they evaluate after, and then they give them a score of 0 through 3. With 3,
it's to see how affected your dog is.
Right.
Yeah.
Want me to make the noise? I'll make the noise.
Oh, for the love of God, please make the noise.
Okay, it's gonna
What
gag
sound
me.
does the car make? And I'm kidding.
Right. So there's Strenner and Strider. I think I've got that right. But the sound that a pug makes when it does that real high pitch, it's actually collapsing. I think it's their larynx, and it's that sound. I'll go like, here we go. Ready?
Yes, I've heard. Yes.
Okay, it does this to me. Imagine, not a good way to be.
Oh my gosh.
And then the Strenner, or the lower one is not as bad, and there's nothing collapsing, but it's basically like there's 7 different ways for things to go south inside of a skull of a dog. And it doesn't really matter if they're breaky or not, as we're finding. OFA just expanded this test to not just pugs and English bulldogs and Frenchies. They're now 14 breeds. And I think the poodle's in there too. So the bullies, I think, are going to be added next. And we just did our clinic at Spencer's show, the Better the Breed. We had a grand champion bully that got an RFG 0, right? It's amazing. It's like, so you can do it.
It's not affected by the
That's
bracket.
Because so an elongated soft palate like that can be part of this. Like
Norwich Terriers get it too, and they have muzzles.
Which is
there's a gene behind that. I wanted
the
to
doctor
actually
is listening to the breathing and
with a
the
stethoscope.
hearts and the lungs to see if your dog is affected.
Yeah.
Is the air going in and out like it's supposed to? If she hears anything, she'll give you a grade from 0 to 3. If you get 0, it means that she can't hear nothing.
Right.
So
There's no
your dog
obstruction. There's no issue.
Nothing. And that's why she runs for 3 minutes. They run the dogs because they want the dogs to have some type of exercise.
100%. Yeah.
To see, if it's affected. So if we can get the dogs tested, my Frenchies are tested a few.
She can't. I don't know how she does this. She goes in. She does a health test, right? I talked to her. She's like, "Well, why?" So she goes to do her first test. Right out the gate, she gets an excellent on her hips, and then when we bring the RFG boas, she gets a 0. I'm like, "Who are you? What?"
What have you been doing this whole
she
time?
did it on. She has 2 dogs with excellent hips and 2 dogs with RFG boas 0, and I'm like,
she knows what she's doing.
She's got the Midas touch.
I would love to see. I would love to see what my bullies rate on that, because, like, I got some dogs with pencil eraser nostrils. They look like pigs.
And they have nothing to do with that. You can have a dog.
I'm sure.
You can have
a dog. They have good nares and they have good breathing, and they don't have any weird sounds like
Sure. But
I have one.
There is dogs. There is Frenchies with the pinch nose, with stenosis. They can breathe just fine.
Yeah, I have that video of him.
So the nose really, it doesn't change the breathing part.
Yeah, that's what I was getting.
That's why they say sometimes they do the palate. You don't really need to do the nose.
That's right.
It's a lot of controversy on the nose thing. It's the elongated palate what it makes the issue.
Or the trachea.
Or the trachea.
That's what I was getting to.
There is a test.
Although all my dogs have good noses, I have one that has a good nose, a bully that I have, and she's like, if she's just sitting there breathing, you won't hear it. But if anything's got her attention, she's a little snorter. She's a little piglet.
And then she has probably a little bit of elongated palate.
Especially if she's doing something, she's kind of audible that way in her breathing. and she doesn't seem to struggle at all. But I would love to know what it is with her.
Yeah.
I've a sweet dog. I've held off on breeding her for that reason, but all my other dogs have like really good airways and things like that. And I held off with her. We just really don't know what that is. And I'm curious. So I'm interested to know, like, cause her nares and everything, like you said, it's not that. And I don't think she's brachycephalic. I just think
really need that much air to get in through the nose, actually, and it's just what happens to it after it goes.
But it's good. It's a good tool. You know, it's a good tool. It's a good tool for everybody to start testing their dogs if it's available. I know
it's hard to get.
Heather and Jessica has brought the clinics to at least 4 shows in the last year, and I know we are really good.
And they were only $60
on the Frenchie community to know about the clinics, but we want the bully people to know about the clinics that we're coming for the shows, because we take this as an opportunity for Heather, for the foundation, to be aware, for everybody to be aware that we are trying to bring the testing to as many shows as possible. And
also to onboard the vets. So here's the problem.
Hit me.
There are not enough OFA certified evaluators. And I by the way, I have a video that teaches you how you can kind of do this on your own. And there's a thing you can buy called the Littman stethoscope. And it's about $300 if you wanted one. It's good for if you're whelping puppies too. It detects heart murmurs. Like I can tell my own heart murmur on it. So yeah, it's kind of, it's just good to have around, right? So anyway, you can do the test yourself and kind of assess your dogs if you're a little concerned about it, if you can't get an OFA evaluator, because like I said, the test is super basic, and after this is done, I'll post a couple of links where people can look this up and find out where to go and learn more about this. But the problem with the evaluators is that there aren't that many. And so, oh my gosh, sorry, my husband started playing like a movie and I thought that it was synced to me like dun dun dun.
It's like a movie just started. This is wonderful.
Is this in my head?
Every once in a while you have to ask yourself that.
That's my theme song. Well, anyway, so the evaluators are very hard to find. So OFA onboarded this about 4 years ago, and I went to their first clinic in Portland, and what they were doing there is they were onboarding other vets. So they need to have 8 dogs get evaluated for the next vet to be certified. They've tried to do some of these OFA clinics in the past, and they just didn't get enough people to sign up. And so the vets would show up and then there's no one. So they were never able to get certified. So what we did last weekend is we had Dr. Ziegler from North Carolina come down to South Carolina, and she onboarded the only vet now in South Carolina. And that's the goal. Want to get some more in Texas, want to get some in Florida, want to get some over here in Tennessee. I was just talking to a guy that's going to try and get one going in Memphis. So, once we get those started and get more vets, it'll be more accessible. So I was running around the dog show and people were looking at me like I was crazy. Fair. But I'm like, you guys, this isn't something you can find easily, like take advantage. Also, it's cheap.
Take advantage. It's cheap.
Blue Pearl wanted to charge me $211 just to have a consultation with their vet before ever walking in the door.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm not going to be your client. I'm just here for an evaluation. Hello,
Right.
And that's a whole nother. We won't talk about that.
Anyways,
it can be expensive.
And that stays on the program. Every test that you do, you can flaunt it. You can put it out there. I've tested my dogs. I'm proud of it. I produce the dog. I'm trying to do better.
Oh, Milton was so happy.
Proud of start testing the dogs. It's a tool. It's a tool. It's you don't have to feel bad. Okay, my dog came out with mile hip or whatever. Then know what is that you're dealing with, because the lacking the knowledge is what it hurts us. They're not knowing. If we be able to know that, okay, my dog has some heart issues, and we bring in cardiologists to the show, so you know exactly what it is going on with your dog's heart, then you are aware. This is in your gene pool. Is it in your line? Is this being passed from mothers to daughters to granddaughters? Are you producing and keep producing the same issue? Somewhere along the line, it has to stop.
Right. And if you don't know it's actually happening, how are you going to stop it?
Right.
But
been
a lot
sewing
of
for
people
years.
feel judged because they feel like oh, what's gonna happen when my
Plausible
dog can
deniability. Yeah.
Plausible deniability. There it is. Yep.
I've
Doesn't
been
stop Mother
saying
Nature.
for years that bringing in these tools are important, including genetic testing and things like that.
Yeah.
The more this technology that we use, the more these boxes we can check, the more we can close in on like high quality bloodlines and things like that from one breed to another. So I think it's very important to do that for breeders,
I'm going
especially.
to type this in the chat too for you guys. It's called. There's a test that you can do genetic for this, and it's Adam TS3, and you can get it through Oravet.
Okay.
And I'll post this in the link on your page when we're done too. So this was the one that was first identified in the Norwich Terriers, and it's responsible for the elongated soft palate. So
there is a gene
if you can start
that you
testing
can
your dogs
test
for this,
to know if your dog can
don't put a carrier
possibly
to a
have-
carrier.
Yep.
You know,
Oh my gosh, I didn't know a Karen Dairy. That's
It's
crazy.
a test that you can have done in your dogs to see if you can produce or not produce, or most likely not produce an
Right.
elongated palate.
and we know people
Right.
love their cheek swabs, so here's another $100 you can spend.
As much as I love doing that, I'm like, come here, and they're like,
Yeah. And I do have one dog that carries it, and it's interesting because that was the only Frenchie I have that would reverse sneeze. I don't know if it's related or not, but I thought that was really interesting. So
I
Yeah.
don't like reverse
It has,
sneezing, it's
we
scary.
teach about that on the other show quite a bit over the years. About just hetero and homozygotic pairs of genes that makes them recessive and dominant, and pushes things in and pulls them out. And how to pull in traits and push out traits. Being aware of those type of things. You can't make future plans of breedings in your program without that information and move definitively. You're really taking a shot in the dark. But if you know that stuff, you can say,
Yes.
hey, mom's got it, and this female we're wanting to, or this male we're wanting to breed her to, he also has it, so we need to go another route.
Yep.
Because then we're going to present it. We're going to breed this trait in instead of breeding it out. And so, if you like, I had a female that had a type of myopathy, and she was just a carrier of it, and her dad had 2 copies of it, just the dad, and it wound up being the death of him. But because she was only a carrier, it did not affect her.
Yeah,
But it was imperative to me when I bred that female to a male that he did not also carry that gene.
correct.
And so it was like, if the dogs
Same as
don't embark test,
Cystinuria 3, same
studying
thing.
is not an option.
And then,
Studying is not an option.
once you start health testing your dogs, you can require, I want to know if you carry this or that. How is your hips? You can require. You are the ones who decided. I decided to breed for better, or I decided to stay where we are.
So I did that breeding, where the mom was a carrier, and then the stud that I chose was embarked and did not carry it. And out of 11 pup litter, only 1 puppy was a carrier like mom, and I pet home the dog and told him about it, and they weren't breeding her. And then so, that was a success story for us in breeding out.
But
that
it's knowledge. It gives you power. You did
Flashlight in the
something
dark.
good.
flashlight in the dark, like I've said for years, Amanda. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
You were also asking about the points for how to get that legacy of health too. What they I got down the rabbit hole of RFG boas, but basically there's 10 different things to get up to the diamond level. 10 points, and you only get a point if you're normal.
Gotcha.
The exception is the spine for French bulldogs because only 5% have normal spines. If you've done the health test, you get a point for testing.
So is that like points add up for a program?
Right.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
it's
as a
probably-
breeder, you could have a diamond approval or whatever,
Yes.
diamond rating
Correct.
or whatever, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
not per dog, it's per kennel.
Well, yeah. So we have verified breeders, and we've verified that they're at least doing, making a valiant effort at doing health testing on the parents of all their dogs they produce.
What does it
So
take
you have
be
to start
verified?
somewhere. So if I do a legacy of health on one of these dogs, and I just did one to
Sorry,
Cristina
we're
has
lagging a little bit. What does it take to be verified as a breeder? Like
Oh.
what kind of consistency?
He's
Right.
He's gonna lag.
So it's legacy of health is what we base it on. So if I have a dog, and like I'm doing one for Cristina right now, she just got her prelim hips, so that's 1 point, and those were good, so that counts as one. They're normal. The patellas, 2 points. The heart, basic cardiac for Frenchies. I think for bullies it needs to be the full. But I'm just doing Frenchies right now, so we may expand. We never know. So patellas, RFG boas, heart, hips, if they're fair or better, that's 1 point. And I will count a prelim. And then if you do pen hip and they fall with, they're lower than 0.60, right? So anywhere between 0.01 to 0.60, you get a point. If you're higher than that, I thank you for health testing. I love that, but you don't get the point for it. So then you can get one for elbows. Prelims count as well. Let's see, Bayer hearing testing, thyroid. What else? I said spine. Oh, and then temperament counts. So if you do the Canine Good Citizen or you do the ATT therapy, that's a point in that category. Then there's also for performance. So if you've got like a dog that's doing the agility and all that, or the trick dog or whatever, Fast Cat is a really easy way to get that. So 10 points to get to platinum level, and then it's 8 points for. Wait, see, diamond is 10, platinum is 8, 7 is gold, 6 is silver, 5 is bronze, 4 if you've done OFA normal, I'll give you a badge for that as well. Because everybody has to start somewhere, right?
Right.
So now for the verified breeder, if I can show that you have at least one dog that has that, and you've applied for it, and you tell me about your program, you sign our attestation that you're not going to be doing nefarious things, you can look it up on our site. I don't want to go into it, but don't be doing your C-sections on a kitchen table. That's probably it's not right. So anyway, verified breeders get verified that way, and it's an annual verification, and we just make sure that everything looks like it's on board and that you are a real person, because with the scams with the Frenchies, you can get bamboozled. And this came out of also just being asked all the time, like, do you have any litters? No, I don't. But can you recommend somebody? And so we started doing that list, and I really wanted it to be measurable. So I come from a software engineering background with medical community. I want it, trust but verify, right? I don't want you to just tell me you do it. And so I actually audited the Parent Club breeder referral page too, because they kind of went a little crazy. And in my opinion, I don't think they made this attainable, but they claim that every person on their verified breeder page does complete public OFA chick certified testing on both parents of every single dog they produce. All you have to do is go on the database and you look and you're like, fail, can't verify, whatever. So I do have an audit. I have a sassy list. And then from that list, I did find some that at least looked like they were trying. And there's actually a couple of breeders on their referral page that are absolutely doing it. Like, they are a great example, great ambassadors.
I'm glad you're doing that, because if it's not authentic, then what is it? You know what I mean?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It needs to mean
if
something,
you do
right?
testing through the foundation, we are, we have our own thing where you can go there and look for studs. They are already tested, and you got a place where you can look for the stuff that you need to breed to make better.
Yeah.
I mean, we offer and we help to show these people, hey, this dog has been tested. We have a really nice stud.
Here's what
It
you're
has
actually
excellent-
looking at.
we got all the OFAs. The OFAs are legit. This is a foundation.
You can look it up.
We doing everything through the OFAs. OFAs are the clinics.
Mm-hmm.
We just don't say, oh, he is passing because we just decide. No, you have to go through the testing.
Yeah.
And then we can offer and help, you're looking for a female, you're looking for puppies. Okay, I'm looking for a puppy, but you know what? these puppies are from two parents that are health tested, two parents that got good hips,
Right.
good hearts, no breathing issues. And
Right.
people have the advantage of saying, okay,
Well,
I'd
I know
rather
where I'm
buy
shopping.
a dog that I know their parents are testing or trying. I mean, I'm being honest, you don't have to start with everything. You start little, what is your major concern?
Right.
Your hearts, for the bullies. Just start with the hearts. Just
Yep.
go ahead. It's not expensive. It's like $60. Get it's an easy test to make sure your dog is
Cheaper
not
than a
sick.
dog show.
Cheaper than, and get it done. If we bring in the
Come on
testing
now.
to the show, we
Yeah.
brought the testing to the last show that we was. And
Saw that.
there was a few people that did the testing, but there were so many that didn't. And
Well,
I
when
was
is it going
like,
to be available for bullies?
it was
Soon?
available for bullies
yeah.
in the last show. We was there.
Yeah, there was a grand
We
champion
had
that got a 0.
we had a cardiologist there that was doing the one that is
The
an
advanced.
echo, the advanced cardio, and we had the basic cardio. And there were so many people that wasn't investing and trying to get that done. And I was like, why? Why are we second guessing, or why are we so afraid of knowing?
Right.
Why
Yeah.
are we so afraid of knowing? It's no way of helping to make better if we don't test.
Right.
Stop
I
being so
thought you
afraid. Just
said-
start little, start little, small testing. You don't have to go big. Ain't nobody telling you gotta have to spend $600 the first time you go because you gotta do this. Just start little. Do your
Yeah.
basic cardiac. Next time you go, do your patellas. Next time you go, do your elbows. Do your eyes. Little by little. But you gotta start somewhere.
Yeah.
And I start out with like, I do the spine at 6 months, and then I can see what's going on in the spine, and I get a sneak preview of those hips at the same time. It's a freebie. So I'll ask my vet, I'll go, what do you think of this? And then we monitor, and I've actually, there was a dog that I was super excited about, and it turned out the hips were, yeah. And I do have I bred one of the, it is the best French bulldog hips for pen hip on record, and they're on par with Belgian Malinois. They're incredible. They're 0.21. Okay. And that dog was out in an accident. Actually, she was supposed to have a different sire. My other dog, my athletic dog, got to be the dad. Anyway, so she has those hips, and then I probably have one of the very worst pen hips on record of all time too. And I did that. I tested her in January. It was so athletic. She moved like a dream.
Yeah.
Both had great hips. Everything should have been fine. And I was ready. I'm like, this dog would be great for fast cat,
Yeah.
And for whatever reasons, I think something happened. She got in heat one time, so I canceled her evaluations, but I waited until she was 2. And then I got that. It was like a 0.86. It was like, I should show you the x-ray. It's like, it looks like somebody tore apart a wishbone, it's just, it's like, wow. And you could not tell by looking at her, right? So a lot of people think that they can look at their dog and say, well, I know dogs and it's moving fine. Those muscles keep everything intact, and
Right.
it can fool you. And then you don't realize that there's like bone on bone going on, and you'll get a change in the femoral head. Okay. And that'll show up later on life. So, I think if you start early and you start looking at a couple things, you can take little steps that'll keep you from spending a whole bunch of money later to have disappointment where you're so vested in this dog and you're like, oh my gosh, this is my investment, blah, 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 and anyway, I have some tricks for the steps that I take for where I prioritize them, but those are for Frenchies. I don't know what to tell you for the bullies. I think some of it's some.
I thought she said something earlier that y'all were fixing to offer for bullies that y'all don't offer yet. I guess it wasn't that. Wasn't the cardio. It was something else, right?
It's the RFG boas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like they can still get the test. I just don't know that it's recognized. And I don't know if Dave has added it or plans to add it. I do hope so.
Yeah.
You still get the test, and you still get the results from the vet.
Yeah.
You can still, you got tested by the vet, and it's
you
not
can still
affected
show
or
that you
it's
can test.
affected.
Your dogs
Yes.
have been tested, right?
Yes.
Somebody,
And
before we get
once
too far
it's
from it, somebody
recognized
had
to
asked
get a
a while back.
certificate.
Somebody had asked her a while back. Stephanie Lynn said, would be lovely to have them out for education for the exotic Frenchie community, October 24th, USBR Bulltoberfest would be amazing. Do y'all do exotic Frenchie community stuff, or is it just?
I've gone, yeah. I to me, there's no bad color or bad coat on a good dog. I've had a Merle in the past. I haven't gone to any of the exotic shows for a while, mostly just because I've been focused so much on just doing these other things. But I'm completely open to it. And if there's an opportunity to, it's all about the dogs, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not here to say what should or should not be registered. That's above my pay grade. But I would love to be able to help people. And I will say, I just issued a diamond level Legacy of Health for our very first. It's a fluffy Merle Roja. He's he's so cute. It's not, I don't personally like the fluffy. It's like, I want my Frenchie to look like Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, right? I want it bald. I want the veins to show. I want to see the muscles. If you put a toupee on The Rock, how awful is that? Like, I don't want to see Austin Powers hair. No, I want my Frenchie this way.
Is that what is this? Okay.
I'm actually.
But I appreciate them. Does that make sense to you?
I do too. And generally,
generally
speaking, I like the more traditional Frenchie, and I like a butchier Frenchie. Muscled up, got good bone and a big head and that type of thing.
Yeah.
But I have seen some. My wife and I fell in love with this little dog, Bruce, that is just, he's the cutest damn thing ever, and so we were surprised to learn that he was health cleared and that the damn dog doesn't even snore or
Every
anything.
dog should be health tested. It don't matter the breed. It can be a mutt. It can be. You want to have a healthy dog because what health testing does is guarantee you or helps you for the longevity of the animal at the end of the day.
For their future litters,
their life, the quality of life. Okay,
Right.
Because you can have a dog that is 6 months old, you don't test, but you don't know because you never have health tested that dog might die in 2 years because it
should last longer than
exactly. You didn't know how to better the dog's lifestyle and to make the changes necessary so that dog's life was much
health testing health testing is not to judge anybody or to say anybody my dog is better than yours.
It's for breeding.
That's not health testing is for. Health testing is a tool. Is a tool. Health testing is a tool for your program, for your own sanity, for your own animals that you all claim you love so much, so they can have a long, long life because their life is not long enough for me. So if I can help them to make sure that the dogs I'm breeding, is going to go to a home and I can put a little bit of effort to make sure or ensure that their life is going to be healthy and long, it's not going to suffer. I'm not breeding dogs that have bad hip dysplasias, bad hearts, because you giving these puppies to families and they don't know.
Hello, congratulations on your future heartbreak and vet bill.
Right. Oh my gosh. Because you end up making it somebody else's problem with
And go sleep on that,
exactly.
When you health testing your mamas or your studs or you trying, you just not doing it for yourself. You're doing it for the generations to come because everybody that is here, that is watching, that is listening, we all want the same thing. We want healthy dogs. We want dogs that are not dying at 3, at 4, at 5 years old. Right. We want dogs that can go outside, they can run, they can play, they can jump, we all want the same thing. And yes, we all started with the bulldogs, and sadly, that's one of the most unhealthy breeds there is. With nothing we can do about it, right? It's already done. We already chose. I mean, why would we choose these dogs? I don't know. if I could do it again, I would stick with the Chihuahuas. They live like 20 years. But we
God,
did,
no, Cristina,
right?
no. Oh,
Yes.
oh no,
But we
negative.
did. We choose these dogs,
Well,
and,
you know, that's how they got
sadly,
Merle in the
they have a
Frenchies.
really bad
Chihuahua.
they
And
have a really
Bulldog.
bad,
Oh, lie to me.
genetics, and their hips are bad, and their spines are bad, their
Mhm.
hearts are bad. So we already choose these dogs. We already all breeding bull breeds.
Yeah, you
If
gotta
we
walk into it
can,
with.
I mean,
open-
I'm not gonna say I wasn't the health testing type of person. I
No, you
was
were not.
I was ignorant, and I'm be the first one to say, hey, you know what? I never did it before, and it was never in my thought process. I
Mhm.
never had it like, oh, it's something you should think about it. But
Yeah.
I was open minded. I mean, like, why not? Let
Well,
me
once
start.
everybody's awareness is raised, right? And
Yes.
once the stuff becomes readily available and it's affordable, then to
Mhm.
me, like, it may be a hard pill for some people to swallow, but it really is unethical to call yourself a breeder. It's one thing to have a litter of puppies, and your brother and your aunt and your sister and your cousin have a dog, and it's one, but even then, like, if you're going to be
But we
breeding
gotta be
dogs,
more forgiving. We
and this
gotta
is
we gotta
available,
invite
Gotta be
people,
some-
to testing in a nice way, because a lot of people feel judged. A
That's
lot of
right.
people don't want to do it because they're afraid. A lot of people don't want to do it. So if we
Yeah.
are trying to push it out there, we have to be kind to people,
Oh,
because
sure. I love it.
come on, let's do it. Ain't nobody
Mhm.
gonna judge you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
We
just
all
because
gonna
you health
have.
test doesn't make you ethical, and I
Yes.
have
Oh.
people say all the time too, and so the No Fad Color campaign with the FBDCA has a thing,
Mhm.
is they started this in 2007, I think, or something. No, 17. It says no responsible breeder would breed outside of the standard.
Mhm.
And my answer to that is no ethical breeder would skip the health test and go straight to the dog show. And I think that's kind of where the rub is. But then now you'll hear people say, well, no ethical breeder would breed against the standard. And they got it wrong. They don't even know what their own flyer says. But
Well, no breeds would exist if that was the case,
That's
because
right.
in order to
Exactly.
create another breed, you breed outside of the standard of.
well, to
one
me,
of the origin
where the
breeds.
ethics comes
Right.
in is when you have these things available,
right.
You
and they
said
are beneficial to the breed, whatever
Use it.
breed it is, and
Whatever
you're
breed.
choosing not to use it, that's where it becomes unethical. to me.
Right.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah,
like,
because
hey,
if you
I
just
ain't
stick your
there,
head in
but
the
I'm not using
sand,
it.
all it does is expose your rear end.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I
Oh,
agree.
yeah, absolutely.
I agree. It's available. It works. It's accurate. It needs to be used.
Oh, I did also want to say too, there's a couple things that are in line with what Christina's saying is, so OFA has guidelines for how you can ethically respond to your test results and how you can analyze them and still use them as part of your screening process. It does not mean that you need to be perfect, by no means.
Right.
Winston, for example, he's OFA database for Chick.
Mhm.
If you look up his hips, he's got mild dysplasia, right? Do you think for 1 second that dog is not being bred? No, he's got a lot of. He's
Not
got
after,
a lot of
not
stuff.
after that big win.
Right. So,
Yeah.
but their recommendation is, even if you have mild dysplasia or borderline, breed that to OFA good or better. Okay. And the more that you do this, and they've got the statistics that show this in a lot of different breeds, you will have a higher likelihood of getting normal when you read normal to normal to normal to normal to normal. It's a threshold gene, and you will eventually get away from whatever it is that causes the genetic version, not the environmental version.
Naturally.
And that's kind of where you get with the RFG boas too. So let's just say your dog gets a 2. I have just received a 2, and I don't agree with it. I'm going to go and try again. But
I want a second opinion. Yes.
but I've got a 2. Okay. The dog breathes really well, and it's athletic, and it never is in distress. So I'm comfortable with it. But now knowing that I've got a 2, I think he's really a 1.5, whatever.
Yeah.
Splitting hairs here. But I will make sure that I always breed this dog to what they recommend is don't breed a 2 to a 2. Breed
Oh, no.
a 0 or a 1 to a 2.
Yeah.
Never breed a 3. If your dog had to have surgery, what are you doing?
Right.
This is highly hereditary. So,
Yeah.
I know in the showing community, when I first started doing this, I had somebody say, well, it doesn't matter about the nares because you can just have surgery anyway. And I said, wait a minute, you're showing your dog and you've had cosmetic you've altered this dog. That's a disqualification, right?
Right.
No, I didn't. It's like, so, anyway, what I'm getting back to is if we keep on trying to correct it with surgeries and veterinary care, you're not helping the breed move forward, so breed
It's in
normal
the breeding
to
part.
normal, and you
We
will
gotta
have
breed correctly.
right. And you do not need to have a perfect scorecard. I think a lot of people get really wrapped up in, and I see this in OFA, in the DNA testing as well. Oh, my dog is 6-panel clear, or my dog is blah, blah, blah clear. Those are just such a small number of tests. The genome hasn't been mapped. You don't have a gene that's on these panels for cancer, myelopathy. So if you just focus, you say, well, I'm good here. It's kind of like, and I tell people this, imagine if you took your, you had a kid and they wanted to play sports, and the principal says you have to have your exam. You need your exam to be able to play on the sports team. And if you went to that principal and said, no, I don't need to take this test because, you know what, we did our 23andMe. We're good. Like, it's not the same thing. Like, one is a physical exam and the other is a test that's going to give you an assessment for risk for developing a disease. They're totally separate things. And I think we can get people wrapped around that you kind of need to do, like, it's tiered, you've got different categories. And if you don't have 100% perfect in any of these things, it's not the end of the world. Just use it as a common sense tool to screen and
to
choose.
breed in or breed out these traits.
Yeah.
If something you want to incorporate or something you want to get rid of, you need to know these things.
Yeah, we're really good about color in the Frenchie community. We can figure out, this is.
Oh yeah, they know all about color. I still don't know nothing about color.
Oh, well, I think
I got a question, Heather. Though very important.
Yeah.
What is your husband watching in the background?
Yes.
I think it's like Kung Fu or something. I don't know.
We can hear it.
You can hear it. Hold on a second. Let me mute for a second. And I'm gonna go. Yes. Yes. The answer is yes.
It's like who's watching a Kung Fu movie starring Little John?
I don't know. They're gonna start.
But I mean, I was reading Sykes' question. He was saying about is a hip OFAs or hemp or the pen hips better. And in reality, there is a lot of people that rather just do OFAs than do the pen hips. They're two different tests. They're two different tests. The
You have two different chances of getting a good result in one.
Yes. The OFAs is just, they're looking at the socket and they're looking how well is your hip position on the socket.
The depth of it.
Right.
The depth. Is it in? Is it out? Is it completely out? This is what the OFA does. The pen hip is a more they measure, it's like they're counting the numbers 0.1, 0.2, 0.3. But if you do OFAs and you've got excellent hips, good hips, you don't need the pen. I mean, if you want to go overboard and say, oh yeah, I have
It's when
hips.
you're OFAs.
I'm happy with one or the other.
Yes.
Sometimes I have. I will also say that the pen hip, interestingly enough, I had a dog that was in the 0.3s, which is really great, super, low laxity, right? We had same day submitted those also to OFA, and the OFA came back as borderline. And they said the reason for it was because a little bit of a shallow, or, this is subjective. These are humans. And it's one vet when it's under 2 years of age. When you go 2 years of age, they have 3 that assess, and then they take.
I see.
So,
yeah, that's why.
There is something there. But anyway, they marked down that one of the reasons for it was they said, "Oh, there's laxity," and I'm like, "Wait a minute, you can't be a 0.3, which is hardly any laxity at all, and on the same X-ray telling me that this dog is, got laxity." So I will just say it can be frustrating, and it is expensive, and when you get results like that, and I I'm a little bit of a trouble starter sometimes. So I called up OFA and I'm like, can you explain? I kind of baited him first. Like I said, oh, can you explain why this dog was borderline? They give me this thing. And I go, you realize that he's got his pen hip the same day. And they're like, well.
They made a mistake.
There's another thing that I found out. And Dr. Keller told me this. And I think this is very interesting to share, and that is that he says the reason why my dogs are doing well on the pen hip while they're under anesthesia, but not as well on the OFA, was because of the anesthesia. And that when they relax, everything loosens up way more than it would have when they're not under sedation. Those muscles that we're talking about, and if you've ever watched like Blue Ridge, they have that wedge pillow and you can watch the whole thing while they're in there.
It looks
Dogs
like a
are not
burrito.
sedated. Right.
Ah.
My excellent hips that I've received have all been without sedation. And the OFA goods, no sedation. When I have done the sedation, I have a significant worse score. So I've decided I don't do it that way. I actually have them do the OFA x-ray now before they start the anesthesia, and then we do the pen hip.
That's really good information. All right.
Yeah. So don't feel bad if you get bad results sometimes.
And I don't, for people that think you have to put your dogs under to get this test.
You don't.
I don't. I have 2 excellent
I prefer not to.
done without anesthesia. You gotta get a good, do it with a good vet, somebody that really knows what they're doing, so you can get some good pictures. Do it with Blue Ridge. They're the best, never sedated. And I got 2 excellent hips. So there is no excuse. You don't have to put your dog under, because I hate putting my dog under.
So jealous of you.
Hey,
are you, rookie?
I know, right? So, who is your cameo guest here, Cristina? Who's this?
Oh, this is a mama dog. Her name is Blanca.
Blanca.
I'm in the puppy's room because my house is very loud.
Yes.
And my dogs are very loud. And if I were in the living room with all my trophies you couldn't even hear me, because every single dog in the house will bark.
Same.
Yeah. Oh no, absolutely. I mean, I have my pocket, but he's asleep right now. You can usually hear him snoring in the background every once in a while. But last time you were on the show, Queso was
there. Yes.
He had to be part of the action, and that's one thing that I love about Frenchies is they're social beings. Oh goodness, who do we have here, Heather? Oh my
This
goodness.
is Mr. Extra. This is Iceman.
Oh,
No.
Iceman. You brought Iceman on the same time she's showing these puppies.
Look at that
my
good
gosh,
head on
look at
him.
this.
Oh, I'd look at the puppies all day, every day.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have a problem.
ignore his tear stains. We're gonna work on that.
Gotcha. Now, have
he's got a
you
beautiful
tried
head.
anything specific for his tear stains?
Well, I've tried everything. Even what do you call it? Baking soda.
Yeah.
All that. Cristina is gonna have me try. I think you need.
There is a thing that we use that I use for the dog's tear stain. It's called Tylosine. I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing it right, because my English is awful. It's Thailand. It's an antibiotic that it usually kills the yeast from the inside out.
Yeah.
So in a period of 3 weeks, the stains will come out. But the Thailand is given to adults that have yeast for long periods of time. So it's an antibiotic that is in a very low grade, that is not going to hurt your dog because it's taking it every day.
Have all the weird side effects that sometimes come along with the stronger antibiotics.
So the Thailand, you can give your dogs a small amount every day for a month, and it's not going to hurt your dog, and it'll clear your stains. And then what you do after that is a maintenance. You see how long it goes before it starts coming out.
Oh, maintenance.
Yeah, just up.
Really, mayonnaise.
And then you use it.
It's a dog, not a sandwich. I'm a little confused.
Can we all type the name of that medicine in the comments so that people want to try to find
Tylosine.
How do you spell it?
Please, somebody have it, write it down for me.
Yeah, how do you spell it?
I think it's TY something.
TYLOSIN. Tylosine. Thailand. Somebody's gonna write it down.
Yeah.
And
then
I got it.
It's a yeast. It's an antibiotic that works for yeast. So for any dogs that are licking their paws, they have red paws, and they can have like skin issues or very
they've got it in
itchy. It works on all of that. It's an amazing product, and it's very looked over. It's they use it in the AKC a lot.
Yeast is a real issue with bullies. It's really with all dogs, especially. I know I got to dry feet every morning. I go out. The morning dew gets us around here. like everybody comes in, they're wet from the pasterns down.
Yeah.
And so like that's something that if goes unattended, it seems to cause an issue with the paws, and then it starts with the paws and it goes to the ear, and then it this whole thing. But I'd like to try that stuff.
It's good. I have many people that probably in the comments that I recommended that did not believe on it, that they're using it and their dogs are clear.
It can
And I
really help.
said, "Oh, you believe me now?"
It can really help,
Dogs are
especially
no
I've been telling you this
piercing, no
whole
nothing.
time.
It's amazing.
it can really help, especially in the summertime. To even like if somebody's feeding cooked or raw or anything like that, and they're bringing in certain vegetables like carrots and maybe cooked potatoes and things like that. Like some of these type of calories can feed just like sugar.
Yeah, because it's
feeds
you
the
have to
yeast.
remember the balance, the pH on the dog is so whack with the
So
food that
anything
we
that turn
feed
into
our
sugar really
dogs.
needs to be cut
Yeah.
out, especially in the summertime.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like a lot of times
gut
we
health
add
is also Matt. Yeah.
It does. A lot of probiotics help. You have some good probiotics on your diet. The sauerkraut, I don't know if I'm saying it right.
sauerkraut. Yeah.
That's a great natural. You can buy it in Walmart. Get the one with no salt. Give it to your
Yes.
dogs. It's an amazing probiotic. You don't have. It costs like $2 in the jar. Is like
It's
like a
better if you
gallon.
get it you can get it at Walmart on the shelf, and you can get it
Yes.
also in the refrigerator section.
Yes.
If you get the one that's in
It's
the refrigerator,
amazing.
The refrigerator one?
It's amazing.
it has more
And
culture.
it's completely healthy.
that's
It's
right, yeah.
natural. It's not a powder. It's actually, it's something that chewing on it is really, really good. Another thing that is really, really good is chia seeds. Chia seeds is a good fiber. It's really good for the gut. It's all the puppies that got, poop problems and all of
Right.
that. I mean, that's what we're here for, right? To help each other out. You got
Hey,
any
listen, free
questions?
game.
Come on. You
I
can
mean-
always text me and ask me. I'm always open to everybody that comes to my messenger. Always open to give you an
And I can
advice.
attest to that. And so Cristina has helped me through several things that have been scary for me, because there's been a lot of firsts for me. And recently, my XL, he has a herniated disc in his neck, and I've never dealt with that. And immediately she's like, "Okay, have you tried this? Let's take a look at this. How is he leaning?" Like she's sitting there just like spending, and I know that she had just had these puppies that you guys just saw. So I know she's busy. She's team no sleep right now, and yet she's still, and still helping me, asking me questions, giving me recommendations, and just it got to the point where like and this is one reason why I love my vet and why I travel to my vet. My vet's like 40 minutes away. Whereas I have vets literally 10 minutes away that I could go see if I wanted to, but these ones are further away, but they listen to me. And so she made recommendations. I immediately, like, they have a text app that, you can text the vets and everything like that. And immediately I'm like, I've been recommended to try this or try that, or what about this? And they're like, "Oh, okay, well, let's take a look at that." Okay. And so they immediately took that into consideration, and we've changed his regimen. So far it's looking like it's heading in the right direction. But in that moment, like, you're just, the fact that people like Cristina and Heather exist is so important, because people are frightened, when something goes wrong with their dog, or they have a breed that is predisposed to, certain, issues. And it is so important to have some place to go, where you're not afraid of, being judged about it. Like, a lot of people are afraid to talk because they're just like, I'm afraid that if I say that my dog's
slammed,
right, someone's going to say I'm a terrible person, or I'm a bad pet owner, or why did you try this? And it's just like, to have people like you guys who are just like, okay, well, let's take a look into this. Let's discuss options. Is this something that you are, good with, capable of, whatever, and then go from there. And it's.
I think that is true. Oftentimes, you got people that are just scared to be judged or whatever. But I
Mhm.
think honestly, there's definitely a pretty good percentage of people that they have all this money invested and they don't want to be exposed, or they don't want to say like, I got all this money in this dog and now if this gets exposed and I can't use it and things like that. And that's the wrong attitude to have.
Yeah.
I think it's worth it to know. It's just like anything with your own health. It's like, I'm having this chest pain or whatever. Do I ignore it for my whole life until it kills me, or do I go to the doctor and find out what's going on?
Do I take my blood pressure medicine or do I just pretend?
Right. And so
silent killer.
That's the thing.
Don't ask for the answer.
Always better to know what's going on with your dog or yourself, and make decisions accordingly instead of trying to act like you don't know that your dog has a shortness of breath or certain movements that like something's going on in the rear there, and it's just better to know.
Yeah.
Oh,
there's a couple questions on here that I saw.
Yeah, Sean, I can just Sean asked a pretty good one.
Yeah, I've got Sean's, but also there was one above there from
Yes.
Sykes Pups about the IVDD gene.
Yes.
And so IVDD is the spine. Oh God, I just had a total brain fart. Sorry. It's when the spine, they get they're paralyzed. What is going on? I can't talk. Anyway, CDDY is the gene that's been assigned to that. We just did an interview with Dr. Carrie Eckenstadt from Purdue. So there's a Purdue spine study. And this is one of the things also we would do with the foundation and why we're trying to get grants and donations to help facilitate more of these things for our breeder education pages. But what Dr. Eckenstadt stated is that CDDY is a cartilage issue. Okay, it's when the cartilage breaks down and the spinal fluid can escape, and then you get calcification and it hurts. Okay, that one is genetic, and there are a couple of breeds. Definitely dachshunds get it. It's been assigned to French bulldogs, but we don't have any clinical confirmation of it, and it's very controversial. OFA's Dr. Gerald Bell has gone on record and said it's not conclusive, and they've gone back and they kind of retracted a lot of the opinions on that. So, but it'll still come out on all of your test reports, and it'll say, danger, Will Robinson, your dog is at risk for these terrible, terrible things that are going to happen.
Right.
As well, just sign up for
We've had some things in our breed, same type of thing that show up, but it's not a threat to our breed. Right. Not yet. It hasn't ever had a case.
Yeah.
There's another gene, or there's either something that blocks it from turning on in all of the breeds, or it takes several others. They're still trying to figure it out. And the Purdue spine study is looking at the genes that are responsible for it.
I think it comes from the gene pool where they build a dog, and it's got a piece of something from some other breed.
Yeah.
And
corgis get it, I think, in dachshunds.
Yeah, and it gets snuck in there enough to show up as a marker, but it's not something that can present itself in the breed.
Well, here's a fun fact.
CRD4 and mast cell tumor is two examples of that in the American Bully. We don't have that. That's not a threat to our dogs, but
your embark test will say danger.
Yeah, CDR4. It's just guess what? Your dog's going to go blind. It was okay.
Also, it's probably not one of the worst. The worst. So the strands, there's stuff on the OFA do not breed list for eyes, and I will tell you there are preservationist breeders that have this on their dogs, and they're on the ineligible list for chick, and they're showing at Westminster, and they're breeding these dogs anyway with this super hereditary. Do not breed, and on the list says do not breed, and they're doing it anyway, because this is my champion. But anyway, so here's a fun fact: the number one genetic marker in all canines, over 1 million dogs tested, is CDDY. It's not just a Frenchie thing. It's not just a dachshund thing. And the number 2 genetic marker is DM, and number 3 is PRA-CRD4. But there's only clinical assignments to a very limited, 1 or 2 breeds, and so
because something about their other genetic makeup exacerbates it. So it's
some retriever breed, or is it a lab or something like that?
Although in all fairness, there is a new test that was just done in January last year, or January this year, came out, and they diagnosed clinically DM existing in French bulldogs. It's a French bulldog Boston Terrier mix, and we don't know what kind of French bulldog it is. Was it, one that's got a lot of outcrosses in it? We don't know.
Right.
It's there's so many questions, but anyway, they did confirm there is one now. So it does get my attention. I still don't. To me, I'm more worried about the dogs being able to breathe. Can they move? Can they live?
Can they dog?
Is there cancer in their lines?
Cancer. Do we talk about cancer?
We haven't talked about cancer yet.
But I wanted to answer Sean's question about the environment, because the hip dysplasia, you can start out with genetic great hips and completely mess them up in the whelping box, and it only takes 10 days for the mice that they tested, and they put them in the Superman prone position, tied their legs behind them so they couldn't get underneath themselves, and in those 10 days the ligament was completely destroyed. And so if you think about it, when we all like to line up our, well, maybe not anymore, but for a while I would see it on everybody's social media posts of the Frenchies. They had them all lined up at the milk bar on a brand new puppy pad on a flat surface, and everybody looks cute because they're all just sitting there going, "Ooh, mom,"
Yeah.
And if you don't give them the correct surfaces and the lumps and the bumps, you can get flat chest syndrome and lose them. We know people that are just starting to happen. Yep. And if they can't get their hips underneath themselves, they're going to be, hurting that ligament. And so I think actually the dog that I had that I didn't whelp her, and I will say there's a very good chance that she had the environmental factor on hers. I will never know the answer, but makes me feel better. But
oh yeah, absolutely.
Something we've always said how important it is to have that good footing for those newborn pups, man. There's some surfaces that are way easier to clean, but man, those rubber mats and I'll tell you what, we've taken a bunch of like face towels, especially when they're old enough to start getting around pretty good.
You want to know what I had to do?
25 face towels and throw in the whelping, and they can crawl all over them and pull.
Exactly, it gets them.
They take tennis balls and put them underneath.
Mm-hmm. So they have to like really maneuver their way through it. Mm-hmm.
And the thing about it is, like, 4 out of 10 poops probably on a face towel, and then you can just change them out, put the dirty ones out, and clean the floor. It works pretty good.
Yeah. And egg crates. So that's what's so funny. So you want something that's like super cost effective is egg crates. Boom.
I had to put this on my 5-day-old puppies that were becoming flat chested because they were so fat. And I was like, what's going on? Why are they breathing like that? I didn't know that. I never had that issue before. So
you were so proactive when you even thought that was the possibility. Like, you were so proactive. You're immediately like, you went into action mode and you're like, all right, how do we counteract it? Like,
these dents over here, it prevents from the chest to stay flat. What you want to do is the chest to be able to have a rest instead of laying flat, because what it does when it's flat chested, it compresses the lungs.
Right.
So when it's compressing the lungs, the dog is breathing up high, and you see that breathing go sunken in and out. The puppy should breathe from the abdomen, bottom of the abdomen. It should go like this.
Yeah.
Not in here.
When it's flat too, then the milk will.
So when it's flat, you're gonna see your dog
right, exactly.
belly
You get aspiration
going in. So what you do is you give him a surface where it makes the chest not to lay flat and make more pressure on the lungs. You get the splint, which I have to because I had to buy them, and the little look.
Yes, I saw that contraption.
So this goes in the chest, right? And because their chest is flat, it's gonna leave a space.
Yeah.
And this area is gonna be tighter on the sides, and it's gonna form the U shape in the chest. Yep. This is, if you see any breathing, if your dog is not aspirating and it's not milk coming out of their nose, and it's breathing funny, you gotta look at the chest.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And this,
Absolutely.
Alexa, stop. And this only takes 2 to 3 days to fix. If you cut it on time, the chest is so
It's the
easy
longest.
to be.
It's the longest
So
Amazon
easy to
order
be
ever to
mold
arrive.
at that age.
Is
It's
it?
so easy. 3
But when you
days,
need it, yeah.
it's fixed. You don't
So
need
what
it
are
no
you
more.
saying,
I
Heather?
use
You
it for
gotta
3 days.
order that early.
Yeah, you know what?
Yep,
Just
you
put it on
have
hand because, and if
By
not for
the
this
time you're
one,
doing
the next
progesterone testing, you need to go ahead and get that on the way.
That's
Yeah,
right.
just
Because
have it
when you
ready.
need it, it's the worst feeling ever. You're like, oh my gosh, when's it going to be here? When's, you know, and you sit there
And
and
at that
hold
point,
this
you're trying
puppy
to
up
come up
all
with
day.
like, rigging something else, and then
Yeah.
coming up with other ways to counteract it. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it's the
I mean,
worst.
it's a serious problem. Yeah. But you, I mean, like I said, Christina, you tackled that real quick.
I've been
That must
looking
be
at the
more of a
detail.
Frenchie thing.
Yeah,
I haven't heard much of that in our breed, in the bully breed, but I guess that's more of a Frenchie issue.
Yeah, Danielle said she got it in 2 days.
flat chest.
I mean, any puppy that is fat can have a flat chest.
If you see your puppy swimming,
yes.
If your puppy is laying down,
immediately like get him to
lot,
stop. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's you got some flat issues, and it's
Dang.
only this only happens between week 1, week 2, maybe towards week 3, because once you start walking, you should be out of the woods. So it's always, you gotta pay attention in the first week or 2. How is your dog, puppies breathing? How are they laying? Because you can lose a puppy because it's flat chested.
Yes,
You can really end up with pneumonia just because of the pressure. It might seem like no, it doesn't. It does happen. It does happen.
bully pup too. Yeah.
So being aware is better than being sorry. Like
100%.
Cindy Ken said it could happen with a fat bully pup too. I just had never heard of anybody having it with a bully pup. She
but
said
a lot of people don't know.
I was about to say it
My
probably
puppy was,
happened. They
it
just
was
didn't know
it
that's
was
what
a
it
fading
was.
puppy.
Yeah,
It was
right.
a fading puppy. It was a fading
They
puppy.
just didn't
The
know.
whole time you just had a flat chested puppy. You just did not know.
Yeah, you had no idea. You don't know what the signs are. So I mean, and that's another reason. Like again, why we do this. I was telling Heather earlier. I was just like, our motto is reach one, teach one.
Yeah.
And I can honestly say,
he's fat.
Go,
You get flat
little
chested.
fat baby. Go.
Is that the one that has
show that
wearing
puppy.
the
You're
thing?
making me jealous. You're making me jealous. This is really, really bad. This is like, you know what this is? You're trying to hook a new client. That's what this is. Like this is like a drug deal trying to happen right now. This is what this is. Look at that dopamine right there. Look at that.
That is so cute.
It's bullshit.
And she already know how to give kisses. Can you believe that? She already know.
How long has she had her eyes open? How old are they?
How old are they, Cristina?
3 weeks and 5 days.
Ooh.
Oh,
That's such a good age. You're so cute. Oh my
So
God.
cute.
I'll tell you what, my first litter, I honestly, truthfully got in the way, probably worrying about the puppy so much. And I consciously became aware of that, and with the next litter, I got back out of the way, let the mom sort it out, a lot. And so I was right there for support. I camped out for like a month in the room, but like my wife's like, you haven't been to work in like 22 days. And I'm like, I'm not leaving them, but
You're getting annoying.
but I definitely, I learned that to trust the mother and back up.
yeah, my mama was a horrible mom.
Sometimes they are, and sometimes
My
and you have
mama
to
was a horrible mom, but she pretty and give me pretty babies that I did everything.
I was about to say, because you posted a video and she's like pawing at one of the pups.
She was like,
I had one female like 10 days, maybe 10 days of milk, and then she's like, y'all are on your own. That's it. I'm done. I'm not like no more help from me.
Well, and I find, and it's also kind of sometimes I find that it's a little parallel to like when you have kids. Like your first kid, you've got like 12 bags. You're always panicking about something. Every little sneeze, you're like, oh shit, But after that second kid, you're like, rub some dirt in it. If you have one bag, it might have stuff in it, might not. Who knows? It's
Drink
like,
from the hose.
Drink from the hose.
Between my wife and I, we've got 6 kids, so I can relate. Lily's got it easy. She's our youngest, and she's 14, so it's like she's fine. Like it definitely happens like that.
I felt like having 6 dogs was a lot. 6 children. Oh my goodness! How do you? Wow.
Well,
Congratulations. What do you think?
We only have one left in the house, so
that's why I say just don't ask how many dogs we have or what we do all day, because
I've stopped asking
here now. So
my people said, I don't know how you do it all day long, every day, for years and years and years. How can you keep doing it? I said one thing: if you take all my dogs away, I can't function.
Yeah.
I'm the type of person that my brain works a lot. So when I'm busy, my brain is more calm because I'm constantly doing something. If I didn't have all these dogs, I'd probably be thinking some crazy stuff, like I got cancer, or why is my skin turning colors? I'll be focusing on the wrong stuff.
You'd be in the doctor's office
But
all the time.
we are just so used to having so many dogs that
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't even get mad about the dog took a shit over here or it pissed. I mean, I just clean it. It's like, what do you want me to do about it? It's just part of what this is my life. Don't come to my house. You don't like my dogs barking? Please do not never come to my house. Your dogs go in your bed? Yes, my dogs go in my bed.
My dogs
has baseboards that are, it's like you can tell if your baseboards are messed up, you're a dog.
Yes. You don't look at my windows, please. Don't look at my glass doors. They have decorations in there. I try to keep it clean every week, but some days I'm tired, and I'm just, they're my dogs. I mean, some days I just have all the toys everywhere,
at that point, there's latitude, a lot of it. And luckily,
and if it's raining, that day we're not cooking, okay? That day it's not cooking that day if it's raining. It's like dogs don't want to go outside, take a shit. It's a lot of accidents on the crates.
At that point, it's just yeah. And the thing is, this is like I mean, I know that I look out because I'm a clean freak. He cleans everything. Like he cleans the windows, the floor. So he cleans everything. I take care of the dogs and that, with everything else, because and so the house is remarkably clean. But I will say, if you come to the house, expect to still have dog hair, dog slobber.
Oh, yeah.
It's happening. I'm sorry.
It smells like, I have a friend. She doesn't have dogs like me. She has one dog and it's always outside. And she came to my house and she said,
she started twitching.
Your house smells like dogs.
Well, no.
And I'm like,
one,
no shit, Charlotte. I have like 20 of them. What do you want me? What do you expect? I mean,
what you expect it to smell like?
I don't
Sweet
smell
peas?
it no more. I don't smell it.
You become deaf.
It's
like
gone.
Scent deaf. Yeah, for sure.
I'll be gone for 4 days and I come back to my house and it smells like
there it is. There it is.
I smell it now.
I just put a little eucalyptus and peppermint in my the vents for my floor. So it comes in, starts smelling like spa day in my house.
Oh, hey, listen,
good trick.
Spearmint.
Spearmint's good. Basil is also a good one.
A lot of breeders don't have a lot of people coming over,
No.
It's not a lot of people understand our lifestyle because it's a lifestyle.
It is. There's a chaos in it sometimes, and some people they get in and they're high stress and they're just like, how are you not constantly in high stress with this? I'm like, because this is just how I live every day. Like to me, it doesn't seem like chaos. To me, there's a routine. Like there's a routine to this, and some people don't see it.
Well, it's like that mom you see at the airport, and she's got like 2 of the double strollers. Everybody, kids, their backpacks, the whole thing. Her arms are doing this. She's got it all down, and I'm like, girl, when I showed up at the airport with one, or even like with my dog, it's like, you should see me at the show. I'm a hot mess, man. Things are flying here and there. It's like, I don't know how some people are so organized and they do it so well. Like, that's not my story. Well, when you called this morning, Christine, actually it was when Amanda and I were talking earlier, and I said, oh, well, I guess I'm going to have to wash my hair today.
And I laughed. I was like, that is so real. That is so real.
So real.
Like, she's like, oh, I guess
It's still wet. It's still all like weird right
I go to
now.
Walmart and I said, I know I'm not the only one that comes out of the house looking like this. Like my shirts have dog hair everywhere.
Yeah,
I got bleach
pants, slobber
stains.
stains.
I got bleach stains
The
in
car.
a lot of my sweatpants.
Got
There's
lint rollers everywhere.
Yeah,
Lint
lint
rollers
rollers
in the
everywhere,
car.
dog
got,
treats
I'm
in
wearing
weird places
Crocs.
in that car or in the house. Like you're just like, why are there dog treats in like literally every single freaking room? Like,
I know it's a thing.
Yeah.
I know I'm not the only one with dog
Because they're
hair
bribes,
everywhere.
man.
oh God, I am not above
There'd
bribery.
be a revolt
I
if I
am not
didn't
above
know.
bribery. No way. Bribery gets shit done.
I have
just
little
does.
ramekins everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, either I can take 25 minutes to let all my dogs out first thing in the morning when I haven't even had my coffee yet,
Right.
or I can use
Or-
bribery, and it takes 3.5 minutes, and they're all done and in the house, and I'm on my way back to my own stuff. You know,
That's right.
Uh-huh. Oh, absolutely. Like if they literally equate like going to the bathroom and doing it quickly with getting a cookie, it's getting done. It's getting done. They want that cookie.
yeah, call it what you will. It saves me 25 minutes in the morning. You know,
Doesn't it? Oh my
Right.
gosh. Yeah, there's
because
nothing.
pressure. He's so bad. You know, he only likes to go to the bathroom about 200 yards from the house. And then, he's going to walk back like this right here. No matter how mad I get, like get over here, and he just, and I'm like, bro, you've been walking back over here for like 10 minutes, please.
Yeah.
It's
Also,
5 in the
your
morning.
bullies. I saw one in a ring, and I actually have it on video, and it's over 2 minutes straight of this dog peeing in the ring. He was an older dog. Can't remember who it was. He was
God.
pretty famous. Yeah, I'll find the. I gotta send that guy the video because everybody was just walking by and this dog, and I'm like, when a bully pees, it's way
it's
more
enough.
than Frenchie.
It's enough.
And the cow pie that they have. Oh my!
Oh
goodness.
yeah. It's they're landmines and they're
I
everywhere.
mean, we just have little like they're like little almond rocas, for the Frenchies. They're easy.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Not ours. No,
I don't know how you guys do it.
It's a lot of labor. Yeah, and scent deafness. Probably quite a lot of that.
Yeah.
But I do
I'll tell you
find that,
what's really bad
and this is a dog universal thing, is that we are those weirdos that watch our dogs poop.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Every day.
every day, every
Every day.
time. And it's
Is this a
And then you
suspicious
say,
poop?
What is
people
that?
have
That
no
mean that
idea.
poop? What is that yellow stuff? That blue
You're
stuff?
like,
that
wait a minute.
pink stuff? You have a toy that color?
With bullies, what's the worst is, if those big dogs like that, if they get diarrhea,
Oh,
Damn.
heaven forbid
it's a poop bath.
it's in the house or something.
Walls,
I've had one
windows,
spray the
screw
wall.
floorboards, it
and
doesn't
it's-
matter.
explosion.
Oh
Bad.
God.
Oh, it's so bad. Yeah.
That's
But
why
yes,
we don't
and
play
also
around
Cindy
with
is-
that around here. We keep the probiotics and prebiotics ready. And
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like,
Yeah.
is this Giardia?
Yeah, and then Cindy just said
Yes,
pee
if it's
too. Like
really
you're
bad,
watching the
it's a-
color,
it's a
how fast it's coming out, how long they're peeing, like this. If you can smell it, like you're watching everything. We're freaks of nature, you and I.
nothing
Who has
worse than coming
panicure
home.
in their dog show stuff? I do. Because you
Oh.
never know what you're going to step into at these dog shows.
100%. Yeah, I
Have
got it.
what?
When you travel with panicure and maybe like, what is it, Urical for you? You're like,
I
do not
travel with
want to have this.
metronidazole. That's what I travel with. I travel with metronidazole because if my dog had ate too much chicken during the show and he has the runs in the car, you're gonna have a metro because we're not doing that shitting inside the car on my way home in 12-hour ride.
Oh yeah,
Ain't
you drive.
no
Yeah,
happening.
Oh my
I
god.
went to a show one time and I remember Ruben Paredes was there with me. And one of his clients had decided it would be a good idea to give his dog green tripe at the show.
Oh mercy on
So,
us.
so he's in the ring showing one, and this other dog is like sprinklering everyone.
Awesome projectile.
The show is not a
Perfect.
place to experiment with treats or
No.
food or anything.
No.
Like,
It was the worst ever.
Oh my gosh, because public displays of everything. Yeah, that's a bad day for everybody involved. Yeah, it's yeah.
My problem is not the day of the show. It's the day after the show. After
Yeah.
they ate all of those treats and
Yeah.
chicken and burgers and bread and all the seasoning crusty on your chicken nuggets that you got at the
On the drive home.
concession stand that you're giving your dog with all that nice salty, spicy, a little bit
Guilty.
of ketchup on it.
Yeah, yeah.
Next day you're gonna pay. That's the next day diarrhea for.
Hey, listen,
sure,
again, we are not above bribery.
Well, I know what it did to
Sometimes
me.
Chicken nuggets,
Yes.
things dogs will do for a
Yes,
chicken.
and then you stop in the morning and like, oh, let it give him a little McDonald's thing, because we're not stopping for food. The dog gotta eat something, and yeah, I know, a lot of y'all
Yeah.
stop at McDonald's and give your dogs a burger on your way home because
Well,
they're hungry.
Yeah.
I'm
sometimes
scared. No, I've
dogs
been
will eat
doing it.
under duress. So
I've been
it's
doing
like,
this too long. I'm scared to death. I'll tell people like, "Oh, he's so sweet. Can I give him a treat?" And I'm like, "No,
no.
no treat for
No.
my dog. Like you love on him, but no, don't feed
Yeah.
him."
I
'Cause
know. I have friends that buy
Labor Day
pizza after the
bullshit
shows for the
pizza.
dogs. Oh,
Yeah.
what's gonna get I'm gonna get a pizza and I'm gonna get the dog a pizza too. And I'm like, oh Lord.
Oh, please don't do
have
that.
we used to do steak, but it backfired on us literally. And I'm
Like quite literally, yeah. So I remember my mother-in-law. She came over one night. We were all making dinner, and she's like, "Here, let me help." So she was cutting squash, yellow squash and zucchini. And all of a sudden, I watch her and we do not feed human food in this house from the countertop. Like they are not allowed to see us hand it to them from the countertop. I just don't want to create that correlation, right? Off the plate, off the counter, they don't get it. But she starts handing them pieces of the cut squash and zucchini. That's not something that's in their regular diet. And I was just like, "Oh, don't do that. Oh my God." And she's like, it's natural. My dogs eat it all the time. And I'm like, "Oh God, this is going to be bad." And what happened? Explosive diarrhea. And
Yeah.
it was just one of those things where I looked at her and I was just like,
Did she help you clean the day after?
No, but she's never fed them again.
I bet she did it.
She's never fed them again.
Drive by.
I would be taking pictures and send.
Oh, I told her, I was just like,
thanks.
"So, it's really ugly. We've had to clean the walls. It took a magic eraser." And she's like, "Oh my God, never again."
Some of that is us protecting what we feed our dogs so much too. It really is. I had a Great Pyrenees outside.
Oh,
Sweetest marshmallow ever. They're just great breed,
dog.
right?
It's a
And
lot of dog.
he would just, whatever we'd eat, if we had some left over and it wasn't spicy or, you let him have some, and he never had diarrhea, never had any problems. And
He used to
And,
it.
His biome was good.
he was outside. When we rescued him, he was outside up until that point, and we got all the fleas off of him and all this, and we're like, we got to go have this dog, clear to make sure he's okay and all that. And I just knew the dog was going to have heartworms, and it didn't have any. And I was like, oh my God, I just can't believe it.
That's
But
good.
he was just
no,
healthy.
Now that
healthy
we're
all the way
talking
through.
about this, the dogs are so sensitive. When I was a little girl, around my family always had dogs. My grandma had a big house. We live in Peru, down South America. They have all these colonial houses, right?
Mhm.
And the houses have the small houses where the people that work for the people in the house used to live in the small houses. I'm talking about long time ago.
Yeah.
So my grandma had a house, and my grandma had German Shepherds, right? She had at least 3, and my daddy used to breed them when he got older. But every time I went to my grandma, when I was a little girl, my grandma used to sit me in the kitchen in a little stool, and she got 7 kids. So cooking was a thing. It was no cell phones, none of that. Cooking was a thing. And I was to sit there, and I used to peel the stuff and put it in the little pot for her to cook.
Yeah.
She had a pot. She had a big pot in the kitchen that it was just for the dogs. Everything she was cooking and slicing, all the like
Waste.
potato peels and
all the
potato
waste,
peels, all the waste will go into that pot. There was no kibble back then. Kibble wasn't a thing. Kibble was for rich people. Okay, nobody ate kibble.
Crazy thought, isn't it?
Kibble wasn't a thing. And my grandma she used to go to the market every day. It's not like the supermarkets. I mean, I'm talking about
An actual
like a farmer's market,
like a real
right?
market. Yeah.
Where the chickens are alive and they're killing them right there in front of
And
you.
I was like, what? Pow!
Okay?
Ah!
And they had those big hot containers that you put the chickens in and take all the feathers out. she used to buy the necks and the heads of the chicken just for the
I know,
dogs.
right? Yeah, same.
Just for the dogs.
Okay.
And she used to go with her little bag to the house every day with her groceries, and she used to put all of that stuff, a little bit of rice, and she used to make a soup
Yep.
every day for the dogs. And my grandma's dogs never had cancer, never had diarrhea, never
Right.
had yeast and tear stains. Then
Weird, isn't it?
things
Well, the
used to
kibble
live
that we give them
outside
has
and never had a
carcinogens.
cough and kennel cough. Cancer was not a thing. I learned dogs get cancer here in America.
Yeah.
Because back home, what happened? I mean, are we killing our own dogs?
Yes.
Is the
Yeah,
food really killing
And
our dogs?
ourselves. You know.
And
Yeah,
ourselves, I
yeah,
mean.
unwittingly, yeah. What are you doing?
Everything's a
So
chemical.
on QBN on the other platform that I'm on, we've been on nutrition and diet for
Yeah.
the last 6 weeks at least. And one of the things that it's I won't go into my own health, but I've had to learn this in my own life as well. And it's like I'm learning it for the dogs and learning it for myself. But if people or dogs have dispositions in their genetics, they got traits with diabetes, heart disease, and anything that they may have in their genetics. And if you have no deficiencies, if you're taking all your vitamins that you need, anything you're deficient in, you're taking that supplement and bringing that up, so you're out of deficiency, and then you're also getting a balanced nutritional intake every day, and covering, checking all those boxes. That is the best thing to counter that disposition. So you're liable to have that in your genetic, or the dog's liable to have it in your genetic and never show its face, because you've kept it at bay by keeping out of deficiency and keeping nutritional balance. And the dog can live its whole life. And it's like, well, yeah, it had diabetes in its family, but it never got it. Well, that's how you do that. And it's the same with us. You can have things in your genes that never show their face if you check all those boxes. It's so important.
It is.
For sure. Yeah, you got to be combative with stuff like that for sure. But that's where a lot of this, testing comes into play, is because you got to know what you're up against in a lot of cases.
That's it. That's why just like us, you got to do the lab work, man. You got to know like
what's not working in there.
Or what you're deficient in, because deficiencies can be a telltale sign of like, why am I deficient, right? Because there might be somebody else eating the same diet in my household and they're not low in vitamin B and vitamin D.
But I've got this genetic disposition that I don't have an enzyme that can do this or whatever.
Right. So it's drawing what vitamin B and D that I have because I have this disposition. So it's like it's eating it. So I'm low in it, whereas somebody else in my household that eating the same meals is not low. So like knowing that stuff, it helps you counter it and like do the things that need to be done. It's the exact same thing with the dogs. If you do all these tests, as like you said, piece at a time, you just incrementally get these things checked off, then it's huge. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
It is.
Do you guys want to know? I can do a little pop quiz for you real fast too.
Ooh, okay, hit me.
So, when do you think it became mainstream to have C-sections done for dogs?
When?
Yeah, take a wild guess.
It was a long time ago. It was on the
was.
Frenchies. It was in France.
No shit.
Huh?
I think so.
I didn't see it there. Oh, there was a doctor there. Yeah, I'm talking about like in the AKC, so America.
I would have said
they started doing.
I think it was in the 50s,
Yeah.
the 60s, 30s, 20s, 10s.
I mean, I would sincerely hope it wouldn't.
20s.
It would be like
In the
what?
20s. I think it was in the 20s.
It was mainstream by 1915.
I see. I was close.
Yeah.
It's a long time ago.
They were trying to avoid doing that with people.
There was a journal that was published in 1906 with a doctor that described how to do it on dogs. And if you go on on the foundation page, we have a blog section too with a lot of history and a lot of I need a day job. Okay. So I like to go deep diving into research, and I've spent a lot of time in the old publications like Dogdom magazine and I went into the archives of France, and I've really pissed off a lot of preservationists because I found like the original French bulldog color was actually iron gray.
Oh, blue? Oh no.
Oh no.
What?
Right?
What?
But they're outcrosses, right?
Oh, now you got a
what the French bulldog is an outcross. Like that's how we got it.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so yeah, I went into those archives, and they actually had the colors of the dogs there from France, but they were iron gray, and they were multi-generational. And as we know, like the way you get gray in a French bulldog, it's the recessive D locus gene and dilute, and so you need 2 copies, one from each parent. So if I've got a visibly gray dog, we know both parents were carriers, right? So you start looking at this gene pool. Anyway, so as I've gone through some of these archives, and I found the history of this, but it kind of, to tie this back into what Cristina was doing, the kibble and that whole thing with Milkbone biscuits, they started out advertising them, and they used a French bulldog named, it was the Dollar Princess.
Okay.
So she was the cover poster child for that. And then another dog named, his name was not Nelcote Gammon. That's the other one. It was a son of Nelcote. Nabob was his name. Anyway, he was a gray French bulldog champion, and he actually competed in the FBDCA specialty and was at Westminster several years. There was a mouse dog in 1909 that showed at Westminster. Mm-hmm. Just fun stuff. I like to push some buttons. I guess.
That's interesting that they like there's colors that were normal.
Her history.
Right.
I do know the history
back then that are not.
But I try and keep that out of the foundation, actually. So if you want to find that stuff, go on my Crowd Pleaser page. It's all over the place. But to get back to that thing with the C-sections, they started out with the Boston Terriers, and then they moved it into poodles as well. And so in the Boston specialties in the 1930s, and actually if you really want to look at this thing, you'll see this veterinarian, and they used to advertise them in the show catalogs. For the specialty shows. Mm-hmm. But they've got this guy in 1930, and he's in Southern California, and he is knuckles deep. They actually showed the picture of the dog being opened up for the C-section. He's knuckles deep with no gloves because they didn't use gloves. I know, right? So anyway, it's on the blog. You can see some of the history there. It's kind of fun stuff.
Crazy.
But if you want, that was the other thing. The foundation does have a lot of, we go deep diving into the history of the breed, where the standards, who wrote them, who were the players, and it's all Gilded Age stuff. It's fascinating. There's stories of here's a really fun one for you, is Amy Gillig, and it's also Amy Crocker, and she was Princess Amy when she died. But she, every 10 years, she got remarried to a guy who was 26 years old. So do the math on that. It's kind of cool. They called her the Queen of Boheme. She was an heiress that had inherited $10 million in 1883, I think. And she was in the jet set community and all that. But she was the very first winner of the French Bulldog specialty with a dog named Champion du Bola. And it was her dog. She was friends with George Bennett, the guy that did the Race Around the World and all that stuff. And they would sponsor these money cash prizes. Yeah. But really cool history there. But anyway, Amy is the very first social elite to have a tattoo. And she had her fiance's name tattooed on her before she was divorced. And it was after she ditched the king of Hawaii, who divorced his wife so he could marry her. And then she was, oh, sorry, just kidding. I'm marrying him. Bye.
Oh my God.
Yeah, she stole some pearls from a temple in India, and then she thought they were cursed, so she returned them. Really cool history on that, and you can read about that on our foundation page. It's the stories of the people that fancied this breed and how it got started. And by the way, okay, how much do you think a French bulldog sold for in 1889?
God, 1889.
Yeah, when they first ran them in through Westminster, because they would put the prices of these dogs in the catalogs.
I mean, it would be astronomical, but I would say probably a couple $100, because back then, a couple $100 that was insane.
It was. So there was a cream French bulldog, and it was brought in by a guy from England. and he was considered the godfather of bulldogs, but can't remember his name now. I'll remember in a little bit. But that dog was listed in the catalog for $10,000.
Oh my God.
357,000 now.
Oh, you
Yeah.
buy
So
the
when you talk
house,
about
the
the-
land, the cattle,
Right.
like all of that.
I think houses, you could buy a beautiful house for $2,000. You know,
Yeah.
so these dogs were way more than. So when you talk about like the history of the breed and what it's been in the past, and you know, I think you need to be realistic about like where it came from and what it was, you know, how it was marketed and who was buying it. And it's not unlike what I see on social media now, where you know, triple backflip, crested, bald, sunburned, whatever. I don't know what it is. This black
Right.
something, you know, and I have to kind of like check myself and say like this is exactly the criticism that the toy bulldog community was complaining about when the French bulldog was introduced and when they had the ears. I mean, that was an abomination. It pissed
They're like,
everyone
you can't
off.
have prick
Yeah.
ears.
I
You
just
can't.
had this conversation today about that. You know, it's like one day it's an abomination, and then all the registries accepted, and then it's fine.
Right. Well, and that's why
What
the
are we
foundation
talking
says include, improve, inspire. We are not the registry. If it's able to be registered and it's called a French bulldog, I'm not going to get into it with people about it. I'm going to embrace it and help with the education and try and get them, because let's breed them better, right?
Yeah.
And
Right.
and I think, you know, if we can kind of wrap our minds around that it's all about the dogs and not the leash holder, then you can start to make some really good decisions that maybe it will make your heart feel good and like and make you remember like we're better together. We're better together instead of everything being so divisive. And so that's kind of where I'd like to say with the foundation, you know, if you're a good breeder, if you're doing things for the right reasons, we want you. We do.
I
You
love
know?
that.
So come check us out. And you know, there's a couple things you can do, right? Like right now, the Legacy of Health program is completely free. It's all about the dogs. We will issue these things. It is very manual. I go through every single one of these with my team, and like we check these dogs, and we, you know, and we hand enter it in at this point. It's not automatic, and so it does take a little bit of time, but just know like we're getting to you. And if we are able to grow this, and if the foundation actually takes off the way I'd like, you know, my dream is that we can build it and I can pass this on to someone else that can do it really well. But let's get the core right. Let's get the community behind it. Let's give people an outlet so that they can belong to something where they can get the mentorship and they can get the education and they can learn the history without the politics and without the shaming and without the you know, the you shouldn't, you know, like I don't want to hear about what I shouldn't be doing. I want to know how I can be doing.
Yes.
You know, what is possible. And that's where the like inspire part comes, right? So when you've got people like Cristina that go into it that we're like, why do I need a health test? You know, and then she goes in and she's getting great results. And I'm sure, you know, at some point I said, don't jinx yourself, but she'll have some disappointments too. The more you do it, the whatever, it happens to everybody.
Eventually, yeah.
There's no shame in failing. I think the shame is when you're not transparent and that you try and hide things anyway, or you try and justify why it's okay to just go forward with a really bad decision. Like
You only hurt yourself, you know. If you hide
well,
it,
you're hurting the
you hurt-
dogs.
and your own dogs, you know. I mean, I want to breed my dog, and you know, and she don't make it through the C-section because you know her heart didn't make it.
Right.
And then who's hurting after that? You.
Everyone.
You hurt.
I think they say
you lost your
the
dog.
veterinarians have the highest suicide rate.
I mean, I
Next
can
to
imagine.
dentist.
Oh, it was a dentist. Well, everybody hates the dentist, so that makes sense.
I can't even imagine, but you know, I mean, we have to be
No one wants
conscious
to go
about
there.
it.
Yeah.
We have to be conscious about it that we do love these dogs, and we have to breed. I mean, breed for better dogs for the future, for your kids' dogs, the dogs that your kids gonna have, for
Hey,
the
you don't have to
parents,
ghost people if you.
for the puppies that you're selling, that you profiting, that you charging all of this money,
Yeah.
and then they come back to you because the dog cannot be bred. It has horrible hips. I mean, for your clients, you want to create more community, right? Because if I'm selling you a dog, I want to make sure that you love the breed and you happy with what I'm giving you. I'm selling
Well,
you,
yeah,
and
absolutely. I
I'm
mean, it's a
and
lifestyle decision.
so if you learn the tools to produce better puppies, and you have a better chance to have a longevity in these dogs, which
Yeah,
it should
absolutely.
be our number one thing with the bully community,
Mhm.
because every day is a sad thing. The dog
Yeah.
is dead at 3 years old, at
Yeah.
4 years old.
That's tragic.
That has to stop somewhere.
Yeah.
We
Oh,
have
yeah.
to take conscious. Did you playing with your kids' emotions? Everybody loves these dogs. We gotta do better, man.
Absolutely. These aren't
You
just
gotta do better. You gotta do better. What
Yeah.
is gonna take for us to say we gotta stop breeding these dogs that are not,
healthy.
some dogs should not be bred, not
Yeah.
because you pay five, six, seven, $8,000. You have to breed the dog. If the dog doesn't make the cut,
That's because
don't
you're looking
breed
at it.
it,
You're
bro.
looking at it
You've
as an
got to, yeah.
investment
And Mhm.
We all have our losses,
instead of a hobby.
we
Mhm.
all did.
Gotta be
But
willing.
it has to be, you have to be man or women enough to say, I shouldn't be breeding these dogs.
Correct. Right. And I've always said that, like, literally the mark of a truly good breeder is not knowing what to breed, when not to,
When
and
not
what
to.
not to.
Yeah.
You
Like,
know,
you gotta
a
know
lot of
that
people,
when not.
a lot of people say, Christina, why you not bringing your dogs to the show? All of your dogs to the show. Why you don't bring that dog to the show? You know what? Because to me, if the dog is not what in my standard,
Mm-hmm.
not every dog to me should be in the show ring.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? It shouldn't cost me a year for my dog to be a champion.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay? That dog made a champion because you fought that shit to the fucking nails and everything.
Yeah.
I'm not, I mean, I mean, that's everybody's their own thing. To me, if my dog cannot win a best of winners multiple times, sorry, but you're not cut for the ring.
Right.
Yeah.
You gotta be
It is
willing
what
to
it is.
Yep.
So I have
Well,
dogs
it
here.
took me a hot minute to get
I
his
have
grand.
dogs here that have never been shown because to me,
Well, Grand
they're
is
not
different.
worth
Grand's
it.
tough to get.
They're not worth it, the show ring. But everybody is like, oh, if I bought a female, she has to be bred. Man, the dog look like shit, but I'm gonna
Please
breed
don't
her.
breed that. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Donkey.
Yeah. Know when
Oh,
not to
okay, I
breed.
have a
Yep.
dog. It has papers. I'm gonna take it to the show.
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah, it didn't
I'm
look
gonna
like that.
spend this money for a whole year trying to title the dog that doesn't have it.
Wasn't meant to be.
Wasn't meant to be.
Not every dog is meant to breed, and not every dog is meant to show. You
Right.
have to be
Not all of
honest
them
with
like it either.
yourself, and find some friends that can tell you the truth.
Oh,
'Cause
absolutely.
I
And
have
you've got
no
to grow some
problem.
iron
I
scales
have no
because
problem
you can't
telling
be
my
sensitive
friends
in this.
that dog ain't gonna cut it. You need to
Yeah.
head home that dog, buy another dog, get another dog.
Learn to
That's not the
start
way to
over. Learn to start over and
And
learn
stop
to
telling
take,
your friends that dog should be
Sometimes
bred
you have to
when
put the dog
goddamn
away
well
for a
it
year and
shouldn't
just
be
let it
bred.
grow up.
let it,
And
yeah, let it mature. Because I mean, there are
you look
some.
like a pterodactyl right now. You know.
I mean, but that's a
They'll
difference.
go through that
That is a
lengthy
difference.
phase. Oh my,
That's a
XLs are the
difference.
worst. XLs are the worst when it comes to that because
I
they'll have
love the
that.
XLs.
They go up and then they grow out. They go up and then they grow out, and then they grow up and they grow out. And it's just like, but that up phase, it's just like, oh my god, and like they look like
Just
a
don't look at
reindeer,
it.
like right now. Just don't look at it. It's gonna look better in about 6 months. It's fine. And then they pop until they're 5. And, it's just one of those things where, you've got, sometimes you do have to be patient depending on the blood.
Yeah. In the XL world, you see everybody's puppies until they're 6 months old. And then you don't see them again until they're over a year because nobody,
Right.
Because the dogs just, that's their lanky stage. That's their, they hit weird growth spurts and get high reared and weird feet. And then they straighten
looking things.
they straighten out. But
yeah.
it's all in all.
not in the Frenchies. You know, the Frenchies are a established breed. You can tell by 6 months if the dog is gonna cut it or not cut it. It's not like the
Yeah.
bully.
If you know what to look for, yeah.
And the Frenchies, we're not looking for breed type. The Frenchies is you either have it or you don't have it. You know, I mean, this is a breed that's been there for 200 years. I mean, that's already there. You know if the dog is either too long, too tall, too short, is
Raised in the wrong
paddling,
place. Yeah.
you know, the eyes, the feet. I mean, you know. But there is people that, you know, they want to breed dogs that, I mean, if you have a dog that has horrible skin issues, the dog suffers, and it's genetic, and they're still breeding the dog. Then who's the one to blame? You know, you gotta take accountability for that stuff. You stop breeding just anything. Not everything needs to be bred. Not everything needs to be shown. You gotta be better friends with your friends. You know somebody that is doing something wrong. You gotta let them know, hey, you know, this is not the way to go. I'm sorry, I'll be the one to tell you that.
This is
And
why
I
you're so
think
popular.
you should, like, we've also got to get into a better culture of praising the people that make those hard decisions.
Yeah.
You know, instead of being like, well, why don't you? Be like, thank God you didn't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We need to get into a better culture of being glad when people make smart decisions that are good for the perpetuation of the breed.
Yeah.
You know,
I think, and then don't get me wrong, the bully community has grown so much in the last 10 years.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it's changed
So
a lot.
much. We went from shitty dogs and to some beautiful dogs.
Oh, there's some beautiful
Okay, because
dogs.
I go to the shows every weekend, and I like to sit up there and look all the classes. And when you get to the champion class and the grand champion class,
For clean.
I say, God damn, we got some beautiful dogs out there.
Yeah, you got some
many
good
beautiful
competition out
dogs
there.
there are there. I feel proud of my people.
Mhm.
You know,
Oh yeah, if you want to
everybody
get dogs now, yeah.
Everybody say, "Oh, the dogs are shit." I say, "You lying. You haven't been to a show because
How long you been doing this?
Exactly.
Yeah. How long you been doing this?
Because
the
there's
Frenchies,
some
when we started
beautiful,
out, there were only
beautiful
a
dogs.
handful, you know, and I think now it's the number 2 biggest, and at least the shows I'm going to, it's the second largest of the classes.
Yes,
And
yes,
now,
definitely.
and it, you know, we were in the champion class with there were 7 or 8. I mean, it's typical for there to be 7 Frenchies in that champion class.
Oh,
So, you know, at least the
Because
shows
we're
I'm
a
going to.
strong community, man.
That's right.
We're coming strong with the Frenchies.
Good. No, absolutely. I mean, that's one of the, like, I love watching those little goofballs in the ring. Like
They're spicy, man.
Yeah, man. They got.
Stay away from the shorty bull and the Frenchie.
Oh my God, the shorty bulls. Yeah,
They always put us together for best
love
in
it.
show. Like some standoffs going on.
yeah, they're little people. They're little people.
Oh, they are something.
Yeah,
They're
I
definitely
wanted to say a couple other things too about the different things that you can sign up for if you decide that you want to get involved with the foundation. I saw a comment on here. They asked if anybody's doing this for the bully community. No, not yet. But I saw Jessica answered that, and I'll bet you she's gonna. I think she's gonna start taking over something. Like
Yeah.
that. I'm gonna volunteer right now, and I'm gonna watch. To
Oh,
see when she comments, it says, "Stop it! Let's stop." The other thing is so we have like the Legacy of Health program is free, right? And it's an online application. It's pretty easy. You upload your forms there so that we can verify it, and they're saved off on a server, so they're confidential. For the spine, I don't need to see your spine results on a Frenchie. Okay,
Right.
The fact that you tested it means that you get the point. Doesn't need to be normal. I hope you've got better spines and everything.
sure.
I will also say I'm shocked at what I see sometimes, but then I'm also not. You know, it's very interesting. Anyway, those all get loaded. They're confidential. You can screen capture if you log into your OFA account. You can screen capture the tests that you've done, and the spine will come up there. And it usually, for most people, say abnormal. Don't worry about it. It's okay. You still get that point. You also get a point for juvenile hereditary cataracts and also the cystinuria 3. I forgot to say that in there. So those are 2 extra points that can add on. So if you're doing a combination of your DNA genetic testing as well as your phenotype test for OFA, that's how you can get up into those, you know, silver, gold, platinum fairly quickly. And then, so we have the verified breeder program, which we initially, when we were first trying to, you know, get people on board, we weren't charging for it. Now we're charging an annual of $25, and you don't have to be a member of the foundation to be a verified breeder. But and you can be a
You'll get into the
member.
database where you can find dogs that are in the same quality as your dog.
Right, which
breed for better dogs.
cuts out a lot of freaking legwork. Like that's.
And I'll tell you right now, if you were to spend $25 on getting yourself registered, if you're doing this, and especially if you have legacy of health dogs, pretty easy. You test, and then you've got you can get you verified. But $25 is just a very small amount to pay to be able to have that visibility. And if you go and look on the website, we've got a really nice compilation of the verified breeders. We try and make a really good presentation for their page, and it's very simple. We don't promote their dogs. We don't promote anything. We just give you the contact information, and then we list their legacy of health dogs.
Gotcha.
So you can see there's a lady on there named Trudy Bettinger, and a little quick story about her. She had the original blue French bulldog that got everybody all in their uproar. She used to put on the French Bulldog Club of America's national specialty. She got them out of bankruptcy, basically, got them into the black, and then they've taken it from there. So for 5 years, she hosted that show, and she brought her blue brindle French Bulldog that she had seen. The sire of that dog was named Trophy. It's Le Bull's Blue Moon, and once in a blue moon. And he was actually featured in the there was a periodical that was put out, the Frenchy Bulletin or something. Bulletin. Anyway, dog was featured there. Trudy sees it. It's like, oh my God, that's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Gotta have it.
Then they told her, the French Bulldog Club people said, oh, you can't have this. This is blue. You can't have it. So she sold him off to Australia, and a guy named Milton got him, and got him and two of his daughters, and then bred them together to get the blue gene. Trudy goes down to Australia, gets the dog, brings him back. Arlie Alford, it's like, oh, and so that dog was featured at the national specialty in one of their breeder conventions. So everybody was coming and look at it. They sold out the whole entire thing. It was packed, the whole convention center, just people wanting to see this dog. It's caused a lot of problems. She was told, you either euthanize that dog or you neuter it, but you can't be part of our club if you're going to have this. And she says, okay, kick rocks. She left and did her own thing. If you go and look her up on our verified breeder page, you will see, I think, 44 dogs with legacy of health. So, and she's an AKC breeder of merit. She had an amazing program called TDs. And if you look at some of these dogs and the history and what she's done, an amazing woman. And I mean, she is part of why I was inspired to even look up the history of the breed and find out, what did the breed standard change and why. Can't ban something that doesn't exist, right? So in 1912, if it changed back then, that means it's been around for a while. And
long enough.
This is where I went in, and it's because of she inspired me. And I think if you look, she will post all of her health results, whether they fail or not. I mean, that takes balls, right?
Balls, yeah.
Yeah. And Trudy is, I mean, she's one of a kind. She is a kick in the pants. She has a lot of people who admire her, a lot of people who have felt very threatened by her. I think she's doing it right. And she follows her own drum, like super, super transparent, ethical, and inspiring. So kind of go through that page and you'll see, we've got a really cool logo on there. I think you featured it on your thing for this podcast. It's Cristina's Peruvian. What do you call them? The Nazca lines? Whatever.
Nazca lanes. Yes.
Yeah, we did it. So anyway, if that's something that you want to do, you can apply for a verified breeder. We'll run you through the stuff. You have to sign the code of ethics and the attestation. There are some things you want to look at. And then we also have just basic membership, and that's $25 as well. It's annual, and it's family. So you can have multiple family members in there as well. So still very affordable. The reason we charge is so that, that we can have the platform and the server to be able to do this.
We can still bring in the clinics to the shows, because
that's right.
Money.
That helps.
It's very expensive.
It costs money, and then we bring, merchandise, shirts, hoodies, and it's a donation. We're not charging you money for it. It's a donation for, them to bring more clinics and more vets and more,
more
people
access.
certified, OFAs.
Like getting the hotel for the vets.
And So if you ever go to a show and you see us asking for a donation, buy a shirt. It's for a good cause,
Yeah.
so we can all do better.
And it's 100% volunteer run. There are no employees. There's no. This is just people that care.
Yeah.
And and so
This is regular people. They like dogs, like us.
they do.
Right.
And
They're dog people.
if you want to be part of our committees and things, we need help. We're doing the breeder education. So we've interviewed.
If you want to be
Purdue
part of it,
and-
please reach out. Let us know.
Yep.
We always have something to do. You want to help us bring, somebody that works and they do OFAs in their clinic. They're willing to come and do the test
we need
for us.
volunteers.
We need volunteers. Please let us know. The more, the merry,
That's
Just
right.
support.
All right.
Also,
So-
I wanted to ask too, and if people could say, if we were going to be coming to any of these shows, I know I'm trying to get together with Bree to help her with hers. I'm having a hard time finding the evaluators. So I'm on board,
Understood.
but I can't come. I can't evaluate your dog. I mean, I'll judge you, but you won't get a cert. So,
Right.
So if we can kind of see, I'm playing around with. I really want to be at the Nationals.
Yes.
I'm going to be there anyway. I've gone, I think, 4 years in a row now. So I plan on having a booth there. But I'm also looking at Stephanie Hicks has a show in Texas, and there are some evaluators. There's a couple of evaluators I might be able to have there to have the clinic.
Right.
And that
the
would
one
be, I think, in
here,
September.
I think we're gonna have one over here too, right? For
There's the Labor Day one we're trying
Labor
to get
Day.
to, but my daughter's getting married that weekend, so it's up to Jessica Jenkins to do it, unless we can get another volunteer. And I still need to be able to get the OFA evaluator, and we're running out of time. So
Yeah. You're closing in. You're closing in.
But if you have some suggestions, and then we're getting ready for our annual meeting at the end of the year, and we're going to be doing an awards thing and everything. And I think we're going to try and have it in Nashville because that's where I live now. So that'd be kind of kick-ass fun. So, and that one's open to the public, and we'll be putting out venue information and doing tickets for the dinner and all that stuff. So things to watch for. But it's kind of fun, kind of exciting. It's just a brainchild.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, I mean, it's a phenomenal movement. The fact that, you guys are actually, putting, foot to ass is a good thing. It's literally putting boots on the ground, and I think that's great. So
I'm tired of waiting for somebody to do the right thing,
Oh, absolutely. Sometimes
if you're waiting for the parent club,
do it yourself.
That's right.
So I love that you guys have
let's do it.
Yeah, taking the liberty to start that movement, and
we have coffee cups.
I know, right? T-shirts, coffee cups, I dig it. But yeah, so I know that I posted some links in the comments and everything to the foundation, so that way, if you guys were interested in getting involved or finding out what they're all about, the legacy program, all the good jazz. All those links are in the comments. Otherwise, I'm sure you'd be able to reach out to either one of these two fine ladies and to get more details and figure out how you can be a part of it. So again, ladies, I love that you guys came on tonight. It's a big deal. It always has been, always will be.
We really appreciate y'all coming on and sharing everything that y'all are doing.
Yeah.
And I hope it grows and grows and takes root. And I think it's a good thing. So,
for
Hey,
sure.
so honored. And again, like Cristina signed me up. I had no idea. I was sleeping in. And she's like,
I'm so appreciative of that. I love how open you were to that because I was last minute, but yeah, I mean,
anything for the dogs. Seriously.
Absolutely, it's about the dogs or it's about nothing at all, and that's.
And I really did need to
guys
wash
are
my
like
hair,
that.
so it was a good
it
thing.
is what we're all doing here. So,
That's right.
Thank you for having us.
yeah. Well, it was a
Thank
pleasure
you.
to meet y'all. Or I have met you, Christina, but pleasure to meet you, Heather. And
You too.
you will be at Nationals.
That's the goal. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm going to try and do a couple of other ones, and it's like, I picked up another breed win. So like, I'm like, okay, I'm going to go do another show. And if I go to a show, then I'll at least bring the boost and then I'll try and like see what vets I can do. Cause even if we can't do the Boas one, we can at least do like Patella's basic part.
Right. Exactly.
I can usually round up a vet for something like that.
Run around a show for 3 minutes. It's gonna be great.
Well, I hope to see you there. And it was a pleasure.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you guys so much again, and I'll see you guys at the next shows.
Yep.
Awesome.
Bye, guys.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
No.
Bye, everybody.
How do I sign off?